Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 66th Berlinale International Film Festival in one of the most beautiful, some might even say the most beautiful cinema in town. Welcome to the Kino International. But much more exciting than the place we're in is what we're doing here tonight, because we are with excitement awarding as a symbol of the special bond to the festival, the Berlinale Kamera, to the Academy Award-winning actor and director Tim Robbins, ladies and gentlemen. After the ceremony, we will screen Tim Robbins' outstanding film Dead Man Walking, which was actually part of the official program in the competition at the Berlinale about 20 years ago, and won a Silver Bear for Best Actor. But first, I would like to introduce to you the distinguished Catalan filmmaker Isabel Coixet. She opened last year's Berlinale with her impressive movie Nobody Wants the Night, and in 2009 she was a member of the international jury. Tonight, Isabel Coixet will deliver the honorific speech for her friend Tim Robbins. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage the award-winning writer, producer and director Isabel Coixet.
Hola, buenas noches. That year, Dead Man Walking was in competition. It didn't win. That's, another proof. All these jury things, they are never clear. And they are never right. And I know because I've been in the jury. I think the fact Dead Man Walking didn't win that year, it's a shame. And I think everybody remembers Dead Man Walking and nobody remembers which one won that year. Okay, I'm probably the least appropriate person on this planet to make a speech about Tim Robbins. In fact, I'm probably the least appropriate person to make a speech about anything in the world, period. It's one proof more your director, Dieter Kosslick, is, like everybody knows, totally crazy. Well, I guess, knowing Dieter, he asked first to the Coen brothers, but I guess they're, busy with their shit, and Clint Eastwood probably was busy too, and Morgan Freeman was, busy thinking about going, or not, to the Oscars. So, well, here I am. They would all make wonderful and very, very, really, speeches like Steve Jobs speeches, because I know all of them adore and admire this guy. So, the only thing I want you to feel is, imagine this speech I'm doing is narrated by Morgan Freeman. So, everybody knows he sounds like God, and he likes to narrate people's lives. I think Tim Robbins is one of the most alive and funny people that I know. I mean, one of the persons most open to the world, like really open. No, not these people who say, yeah, I'm open to the world and then nothing. No, he is. I think he's really, and I see that, right? He's one of the people most involved with the world and most in touch with himself. Because at the end, being an artist is really know who you are and what you can offer. I think he's also one of the youngest people I know. I have worked with many great actors through my life, but I never had an accomplice like Tim Robbins. Not only an accomplice as an actor, because all these things about director, actors, listen, it's not just saying, it's really, when something is meaningful, it's because people really are working together. He was an accomplice who pulled me out of the darkest pits, abysses of the editing room once, and he just said, what you're asking me, it's follow your gut. And I did. Because I know he was, I know he was right. And he has been there before. And he isn't afraid to share it with you, with me. He's also one of the most generous people I know. Okay, please keep imagine Morgan Freeman's voice here, because that will help. This is the truth. Tim Robbins rides a bike very well, skates, composes the most beautiful songs I ever heard. He plays guitars like a fucking god. He cooks. He cries. He writes a lot. He works entirely with his theater group, and I've been a witness of that. And we see, when you see this guy working with his actors in the theater group, the gangs people, Tim, I never know the name. Well, when you see the way they work, you have a glimpse what creation really is. He takes amazing pictures. He struggles, he falls in love, he falls out of love, he complains, not much, but he fights, and keeps fighting, and he clenches his teeth and has fun, goes on. Everything he does, and who he is, and his creative life has to do with living, truly living. I'm not talking about the protected, manicured, brilliant, glossy, hollow, and empty life that the majority of people in what we call film business lead. I'm talking about real life. Tim Robbins doesn't live in a bubble. I think he would like to burst all the bubbles in the world. His films as an actor are the expression of the human soul in its worst and best moments. His films as a director demonstrates the point of view of an... keep imagine the Morgan Freeman thing. Demonstrates the point of view of a unique intelligence, an amazing discernment. Remember Bob Roberts, think about Trump, hello. He has an impressive and a very special sensitivity, and a blind, maybe not so much blind faith, into the world has to be, must, and can be an infinitely better place. Okay. I have never known any other artist as brilliant as him, and I never, we need now more than ever all the light we can get to fight against the darkness. So please keep, Tim, keep fighting, and thank you.
Please join me in welcoming Dieter Kosslick and Tim Robbins.
So, the thing is, officially I have nothing to say here, but first of all, Isabel, thank you so much, and just keep this speech, because I'm leaving in 3 years, and I just want to have exactly the same thing, just with another name, because I'm not Tim Robbins, as everybody knows. So, but the speech was really good, and the thing is that we are doing this tonight not because what you think. Yeah, Isabel was already outing that somebody said something was that he expected, I guess, 2 silver bears, and he did only 1. And but I have no silver bears to give him. And the thing is that Tim Robbins, we wanted to have him in the jury, and Isabel was doing films with him, and then I was calling Isabel, said, can you ask him to come to the jury? And then we, of course, we always ask if somebody says half yes, can we do something for you? Do you drink, drugs, sex, rock and roll? He said, no, I'm a vegetarian. I think it was worse. I think I'm a vegetarian, but I think he's a vegan. You know, vegans don't eat chickens because there's egg in. And so when finally he made it. And I was so happy that nothing was true. He was drinking, and I'm too. And we had really a great time. And since this time, I'm thinking about how to get him back. Because he's so Hollywood. He doesn't want to be Hollywood, but I mean, people think he's Hollywood, so it's cheaper for us to have him because he lives in New York. So the flight is just cheap. So if you want to have somebody from Hollywood, look that he lives pretty close to Berlin because of the flight. It's expensive. So this night we give him the Berlinale award. Not Bill Clinton, the other one, the actor. Clint Eastwood got it already. And so we use this, it's 4,500 euros worth. And, but you can do nothing with this. You can sell it afterwards to me, I give you the bucks. Because it's not about this, what you think, that we honor Tim Robbins. It's just that I just like to have him with me in town. And this is just one thing. And so we have another Golden Bear for Lifetime Achievement. He gets it in 3 years. And then afterwards I take them all back. And so, okay, Tim, this is for you. Lifetime Achievement up to now.
Thank you, Dieter. Dieter Kosslick is the funniest director of a film festival anywhere. Yes? Go ahead. Part of why I love Berlin is because I get to see him, and so thank you, Dieter. Thank you for having me, and thank you for paying for my economy flight from New York. Whatever. Thank you, Isabel. Because I'm writing this script, and there's an Isabella character in it, and so I keep saying Isabella, so I'm sorry, but it's Isabel is one of the most, well, I'll say the most. The most human director I've ever worked with. And I mean that from the heart, because she creates films that are so full of humanity and sensitivity. And in this day and age, when I look at the kinds of films that are being made, I realize it's also a courageous act to be someone that is interested in shining a light on the better parts of humanity. It's so easy to be cynical, so easy to be nihilistic, and Isabel in her career has taken a path that has more to do with poetry and art than commerce and the regular kind of fare that we see in movies. So I'm honored that you were here to do this for me, and thank you very much. So I was just remembering, I was out for a walk yesterday. I've been here writing for about a week, and I was out for a walk yesterday and I passed Checkpoint Charlie. And I remember the first time I was in Berlin was in 1985, and the wall was still up. And I rented a car, and I had a couple friends with me, and we were going to drive over to East Berlin because I wanted to see a play at the Berliner Ensemble. And we got stopped at Checkpoint Charlie, and they went through our car, and they found Rolling Stones cassettes. And they said, I'm sorry, you can't come in to East Berlin with Rolling Stones. And at that point I knew that the wall was going to come down. Because you can't fear rock and roll. And I was here after the wall came down, about 2 years after, and I was and I've been back and back and back, and I've seen how East Berlin has transformed, and I've seen how unification worked in many positive ways, and that gave me great hope for all the disputes of the past, that they can be resolved. And this particular movie, I was so honored to bring here to the Berlinale, because we were this little scrappy movie that barely got made and was turned down by every studio. Even the studios that contacted me after my first film and said, we want to do your second film. They said, no, there's no one's going to want to watch a movie about the death penalty. It's just, there's no audience for it. And it wound up making $100 million in the United States. So we proved them wrong, and then everyone called me up again and said, we want to do your third film. And you know how that one came out. So the movie became kind of a bellwether. Sister Helen Prejean, who wanted to be here tonight, is still on the road, still talking about the death penalty, still advocating for its abolishment in the United States. And 10 years ago, Sister Helen came to me and said, I want to do a play of this. And so I wrote an adaptation for the stage. And what we did was, rather than go to Broadway, we decided to go the other way. We decided to offer it to universities, the theater departments in universities. And we would give them the rights if they convinced 2 other departments in the university to offer courses on the death penalty and to use Sister Helen's book as part of the syllabus. And we were, in the last 10 years, we've been in 260 universities. And so every time this material is performed, it's performed in a situation, in an environment of learning. And so they have guest lecturers come in, and there's symposiums gathered, and there's debates, and there's discussion. And this discussion is important for this film, because, and for the issue itself, because we tend to hide away behind this issue. We don't want to talk about it. We carry it out in the middle of the night, in a place where no one can see it. We don't get to know who is dying. It's all a secret. And this play has been able to, and this movie have been able to bring it out into the light for discussion. And it's the discussion of the issue when you are with sentient human beings. They come to understand that although they might have an emotional response for the death penalty, that once they consider and once they go through the journey, it's a lot more difficult to support it when you realize the humanity that is behind all of these stories that we are not telling, in all these dark prison corridors that we do not see. And so I'm very proud to be here to show this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't seen it for 20 years. I think the last time I saw it was at the Berlinale. So I'm very grateful that all of you have come. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate that this movie is still got an audience. And I'm very grateful to receive this beautiful camera. Does it work, by the way? I'm going to shoot my next film on this camera, right here. It better work. And once again, thank you for coming, and thanks to Sister Helen Prejean for writing the book that inspired this movie.